Hello and welcome to today's edition of Property Focus. Today's subject is a rather unique one, and we are discussing digital records clearance. This comes on the back of my last video in which I discussed the moving of your land's records to the online portal that has been put together by the Ministry of Lands. Okay, so just a brief recap on that. The Ministry of Lands has now put together a website or an online portal where you will now keep your property details. Okay, so you would have your name, your property, your area, property number, what have you, online. All you have to do to make that happen is open an account with them on that portal, register your details, verify them, and what have you, and that would be that. Okay, you would still get your certificate of title, but you would now keep your records online. Okay, for the expanded version, you are welcome to have a look at my last video that that is posted beneath this one. Okay, now Mr. Mtumbi's question was, has the digital records clearance been suspended by the Ministry of Lands? Has the Ministry of Lands suspended the digital records clearance? Okay, all right. Now, when I was asked that question, I went and verified with Lands yesterday, so I could come back with an informed position. And the feedback I got was that no, the process has in fact not been suspended. Okay. Now, before I dig into that, it would be worth getting into what digital records clearance is. Okay, what is digital records clearance? Okay, so very simply, when you open an account with the Ministry of Lands and you update your details, okay, you build a profile there, basically your name, your property details, your residential area, what have you. Okay, you are required to verify those details to see that they are correct. Okay, and to see that what is entered online matches what is on your certificate of title. Okay, that process is called your digital records clearance. Okay, what has been found in many instances is that the records that are entered online do not match what is on paper on the hard copy. Okay, so you're required to do your records clearance to verify that those things tally. Sometimes you find that the NRC is wrong, the NRC number is wrong, your national registration card details are wrong, or the name of the property owner does not match what is on the title, certificate of title, or maybe the previous property owner was the name entered and not the current one, and so on and so forth. So you verify those details, and when it is found that they are inaccurate, you correct them, you update them. Okay, that is the digital records clearance. Now, why is that important? Because you would not be allowed to act on a property without doing that. Basically, you would not be allowed to transact on a property without your digital records clearance. A property will not change hands, it will not be sold, and what have you, without your digital records clearance. Okay, now to the question itself, what used to happen previously was that you would be asked to do your digital records clearance first before you proceeded to do anything else. Okay, if you wanted to act on a property. Okay, this is a property, by the way, that is not suspended. A suspended property is a property that is encumbered. It's a property that has something on it that prevents anyone making any transactions on it. Okay, so if there's a dispute on it, or there's a caveat and things like that, that is a suspended property. Okay, so this one would only be relevant for properties that are not suspended, your digital records clearance. So if I own a property and I'm looking to sell it to Mr. Mtumbi or vice versa, I would be asked to do a digital records clearance before I can proceed to do transfer of property. Okay, now previously that was the case. What has changed now is that you can do those things simultaneously. Okay, That's what has changed. So whereas before you did one thing after the other, now you can do both things at the same time. So as you are doing your digital records clearance, you would also be permitted to act on the property provided it is not suspended. Okay, you'll be asked, for example, to initiate the process of property transfer as you are doing your digital records clearance. Okay, very somewhat subtle difference, but an important one. Okay, previously it was one thing after the other, but now you can do both processes simultaneously. So I could go to the Ministry of Lands and say, okay, I would like to sell my property to this gentleman. It could be checked that the property is mine. It could be checked that there are no encumbrances or caveats on the property. And once those things are verified, I'll be then asked to do my digital records clearance at the same time as I'm initiating the process of property transfer. Okay, I hope that answers the question sufficiently. All right, that concludes today's episode of Property Focus. Remember to subscribe and share this content so we can keep bringing you more of it. All right, enjoy your day, everybody. Bye-bye.